أسعد الله مساكم. Good afternoon. I want to thank you, Lisa, President Anderson, for hosting me, giving me this great opportunity to speak to graduates this evening, friends, family. I'm extremely thrilled to be here. And I thank you for the introduction. It did remind me again that I still have to do much, much more. I especially want to pay tribute to the students who are receiving their degrees in this jubilant afternoon. Congratulations on this milestone achievements. It's a testimony to the hard work that you have done and the support you've received from family, friends, and the dedicated leadership and faculty at AUC. Truly, a congratulations. Thank you all. Life moves so fast. I'm sure you've heard that before so many times and in so many ways. It's one of those facts that we take lightly and for granted. It seems only a few years back when I was sitting in your seat today, graduation night. So consider my talk as a caring advice from someone who started where you are today and tried so hard early on to take on life's countless challenges and endeavored to see the silver lining at every juncture. So here it is, the essence of what I've learned so far. You might call this the juice of juices. Now, whether consciously or not, anyone who aspires to leadership is engaged in a lifetime journey. It is a journey that begins with questions. What is your destination? Why are you heading there? What inspires you in life? What do you want to achieve? The sooner you begin to reflect on these questions and so make your journey a conscious and a deliberate one, the better your chances of arriving at your destination with flying colors. Defining your personal aspirations long before you can attain them is just not daydreaming. It is a crucial step towards creating a rewarding life. Now, leadership often begins with an inspiring dream. And the most powerful dreams aren't about wealth. I've rarely seen people who aim purely at wealth end up happy. What intrigues and inspires us in the stories of people we admire is generally not the money they may have accumulated, but rather the goals they attained, the obstacle they overcame, and the legacies they left behind. These are what make a story worth repeating. The scars of battle are far more captivating and impressive than the medals of victory. So if you aspire to leadership, I urge you not to make wealth your ultimate goal. Instead, strive to do work that is personally exciting and fascinating, and that helps you to make the world a better place through the productivity and excellence of what you do. Aim for these things. Aim for these things, and you will find that financial rewards will tend to follow. Now, many people wish to be leaders, and it is a normal wish. But not all are willing to make the sacrifices required or to withstand the headwinds they encounter throughout the journey. Now, make no mistake, leaders are not born. They are developed, and as such, they are self-developed. If a career is a lifetime journey of self-discovery, then a great career is like a survivor challenge. It's an epic journey into unknown territory, posing unpredictable difficulties, one that requires profound courage and deep sense of commitment. I'll share with you this afternoon 9 key steps in the journey of self-discovery that aspiring leaders must undertake. Though the twists and turns may vary from one person to the next, the same key steps are demanded from anyone who wants to be a true leader, whether in business, academia, medicine, government, the nonprofit sector, or even as a parent within the family. First, discover what makes you tick. In my own journey of self-discovery, I've learned how important it is to discover what drives you internally, what makes you tick. When I speak to young people, I like to ask, what subject at school really engages you and excites you? Now, surprisingly, many have no clear answer. They haven't really gotten to know themselves, which makes me wonder, how will they make wise career choices for themselves? Now, life is too precious, far too precious, to spend in doing work that does not make you feel alive every day. Now, this process of self-discovery begins with looking at listening at yourself. It requires the ability and willingness to reflect on yourself and your life. It's a quality that is less common than it should, and that every would-be leader needs to begin practicing at an early age. You need to think about what drives you. How would you define your dream job? What inspires you to reach high? What kind of challenges engage you and bring out the best in you? You'll also need to think seriously about your strengths and weaknesses, and about how you might balance conflicting career values. How important is money to you? How does it compare with other job attractors as responsibility, advancement, independence, and flexibility? Are you comfortable taking risks? Do you respond well to taking instructions? Do you prefer team projects or working alone? Now, answering these questions honestly and objectively can be a challenge, but it's worth the effort to learn more about yourself and your greatest assets, your own mind and heart. Now, discovering your true interest and strength isn't always easy, and I can vouch for that. For many people, it's a matter of trial and error, with false starts and missteps along the way. Now, of course, those false starts aren't necessarily wasted. In fact, they can often provide knowledge and experience that prove critical to your later success, as long as you don't make a habit of it. Now, my journey started as a young college graduate, where you are today. Now, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself in a position of some responsibility. I was appointed to a management post in our family company, where I had worked few summer jobs during my teen years. Soon I had to make decisions, be accountable for the performance of others, and to earn my stripes through results. Right from the start, I made a conscious decision to engage in our family company as any hired hand would. I wanted to earn my keep by performing well and climb the promotion ladder based on merit. I was surrounded by older colleagues who were answerable to me. Somehow, I was careful not to take them for granted, and vice versa. Over time, I realized that I had a choice to make. Either keep doing what I was doing, discharging my responsibility and exercising authority as best as I could, or develop my soft skills to a level that ultimately defined the makings of leadership. It was a choice between accepting the status quo with some improvement, or evolve to join the ranks of true leadership. I chose the latter. The first choice, the low road, the path most traveled, the cakewalk. When we take this choice, inevitably, with time, we regress. A second choice, the high road, the path less traveled, the real challenge. When we take this choice, we evolve and soar. It is a personal choice that will shape our future and the future of those around us. So the first leg in this boundless expedition compels you to be both self-critical and self-aware. Now, what is self-awareness? In short, it is the training kit needed for embarking on this lifetime journey of self-development. By definition, it is an ongoing experiment where we explore our individual personalities. Because we are all different in the way we react to things, learn, and synthesize information, it is imperative to spend time in self-reflection to gain a better insight into oneself. Self-awareness includes recognition of our personality, our strengths and weaknesses, our likes and dislikes. It is a prerequisite for effective communication, interpersonal relations, and developing empathy for others. It is the DNA of all effective leaders. Now, this is the start of the journey of self-discovery that every aspiring leader must take as you set sail for the long path ahead. But there's much more to learn if you want to make your voyage a successful one. Second, listen to feedback of all colors. Of all colors. The process of self-development can only be complete with the help of feedback from others. It requires openness to debate, criticism, and advice. If you're not willing to accept honest feedback, it's like choosing to listen to your own voice speaking from the mirror. Now, the words might be soothing, but you're not going to learn much. Learning from feedback isn't easy, because most people have a natural impulse to react poorly to feedback that is critical or offers disagreement. It's easy to become defensive, hostile, and make excuses. Now, I've worked hard to overcome this tendency in myself. I try not to react swiftly to negative feedback. Instead, I've learned to pause and take a moment to reflect. Then I ask the person I'm speaking with a few probing questions. Let me ask you why you concluded that. Was there something specific that I said that prompted your reaction? What would you suggest I do to bring our exchange to positive territory? Sometimes I agree with the answers. Sometimes I disagree. But I learn a lot by asking them. And that's what matters. So I urge you to train yourself to place close attention to feedback you receive. Invite it rather than being about it or rejecting it. It can reveal truth about yourself that are almost impossible to perceive on your own. You may discover that something you thought was a special strength of yours is really a weakness you need to work on. You may learn to recognize a strength that you were unaware you had. Eventually, you will learn to enjoy receiving feedback of all colors and all flavors. To someone who's eager to learn, honest feedback is like a glass of water on a scorching summer day, a source of energy and refreshment. Now, be your own worst judge. Be your own worst judge, and no one else's harsh judgment will ever bother you again. The crucial ingredient in developing this attitude is humility. Remember that no one owes you anything, that you have to earn your stripes every day. Third, invest in yourself through lifetime learning. In your lifetime journey, traditional learning is very important. And if you aim to be a leader, don't wait for others to invest in you. Instead, invest in yourself by spending time, energy, and money on training and education, whether technical, scientific, linguistic, financial, managerial. If you invest in yourself, then everything else you will do will have added value. In today's highly competitive, technologically complex world, higher education is essential for almost everyone. But traditional education is not the only source of learning. A diploma or even a college degree should not be the end of your education, but rather the beginning. In our ever-changing world, there's always something new and valuable to learn. So be constantly in an inquisitive mind. I can't overstress this point. If you approach life and work in the spirit, every experience will be of value, helping you to build rather than shed your personal capital. And as I like to remind the people I work with, good luck is simply when preparation meets opportunity, no more. Immerse yourself in problem solving in your career early on. This is the training ground for advancement later on. Those who shy away from tackling problems in their youth may never learn to recognize the opportunities hidden inside problems. Instead, as they age, and when troubles arise, they become subject to frustration and despair. Now, don't let this happen to you. When business challenges threaten to overwhelm you, remember, if you can manage the emotions, you can manage the issues. 4, savor the sweet taste of failure. People are always startled when they hear me refer to the sweet taste of failure. It is a paradoxical phrase that requires some explanation. No one likes failure, of course. Whether big or small, every failure exacts a price. A career failure means a setback on the journey toward leadership. A business failure means a loss of profit, wasted time, damage to one's reputation, and missed opportunities. And when failures are not faced honestly and directly and addressed promptly, they can have a cumulative impact. The discouraging impact of failure can lead to self-pity, a blaming mindset, and inertia. An uncorrected failure can cause the same mistake to recur, often leading to ultimate catastrophe. So no one likes failure, and no one needs to be reminded to avoid it, of course. But we do need to be reminded to take advantage of failure when they occur, and they will occur. And that's where the sweet taste of failure comes in. For me, the 3 best things about failure are admitting it, learning from it, and finding opportunity in it. Admitting it is the first step. Once you accept the fact that you've made a mistake, you can stop being defensive, denying reality, or wearing blinders. Admitting failure is about being humble, human, and authentic. Have you ever known someone who never admitted failure? People like that are generally very difficult to get along with. By contrast, people who are comfortable admitting their own fallibility are those we can respect and enjoy being around. By confessing their own humanity, they give us permission to be human as well, and that makes a genuine relationship possible. Showing vulnerability in this way does not take away from your personal capital. It builds it by increasing your credibility and the trust it earns. Now think of this for a moment. People will eventually start saying, if he's honest with himself, he'll be honest with me. As I like to say, first accept the wrong, then right the wrong. Admitting failure will also allow you to think about the need to change a habit, a way of thinking, or a decision-making process that you take for granted. Confronting your failure is the best way to discover ways of growing and improving. 5, find a mentor and you'll have a treasure trove for life. There's much to be learned from an older friend, colleague, or associate who's willing and able to serve as a sounding board and counselor. Many people who are shy about befriending members of the older generation. Many people are. If you fall in this category, I urge you to overcome your hesitation. Don't just stand on the shore watching the waves come and go. Take the plunge, seize the chances for cross-generational dialogue provided on college campus, in the workplace, or in the social arena. But choose your mentor wisely. The wrong advisor can hold you back rather than propel you forward. For example, a friend who wants you to mirror his own experience rather than grow beyond him, or one who is unfailingly sympathetic and therefore encourage you to remain in your comfort zone and rather than taking on life's greatest challenges. Now, sympathy is nice, but a mentor should encourage you to engage difficulties rather than shrink from them. Find a friend who gives you the benefit of tough love by challenging your assumptions and pushing you to achieve the seemingly impossible. This can be painful, but at the same time, it can be powerful. No pain, no gain goes beyond muscle toning. It applies to character building as well. 6, weaving a supportive network the right way. Networking can be a powerful tool for self-development. When tackling a new challenge or opportunity, it allows you to expand beyond your own capacities. An aspiring leader needs to develop the most powerful and flexible, agile arsenal of tools and methods to draw upon in times of need. In today's intertwined world, this is essential, and networking allows you to become boundaryless. Networking is based on giving to others as much as taking from them. The smart networker is interested in other people for their own sake and is happy when the opportunity arises to help them. Networkers are people. It is not a quality you can fake, mind you, but it is a habit you can nurture in yourself through continual practice. Every relationship you enter is a choice that only you can make. It involves a commitment that will shape your mind, your personality, and your future path in life. Perhaps for good, perhaps for ill, perhaps in a small way, perhaps in a big way, but it will have a significant impact on you, which is why it deserves thoughtful consideration. Your goal should be to make connections with people who will help you grow. You want friends who will challenge you to be to your best rather than excusing your worst. You want colleagues who will support you in your aspiration rather than encouraging your complacency. And you want associates who will help you discover new opportunities rather than sticking to the same old path. So cherish these friends and associates whose wisdom and experience you respect. You never know when one of them will provide you a key connection or can solve a problem or open a door that was closed to you earlier. Develop a magnetic personal voice is 7. Leadership is about people, about inspiring others to share your excitement about a powerful vision. For this reason, the aspiring leader must begin practicing communication skills at a young age. Oratory. One recommendation is to learn from the masters. Study the speeches of history's most inspiring leaders. Notice how they use simple language, clear examples, heartfelt emotions, and personal stories to connect with listeners. You also need to seize opportunities to practice communication personally. Most people are terrified of public speaking. Work to overcome this fear through familiarity. Over time, the fear will gradually diminish, but the anxiety will remain, and that's all right. When a message is graphed in vivid terms that anyone can identify with, it resonates and it sticks. I've learned that the mind looks for proof, but the heart looks for engagement. And while the mind makes a decision, it is the heart that makes a commitment. 8, take time for reflection. In today's fast-paced world, many people seem to have lost sight of the importance of reflection. Reflection seems to go against the tide of today's instant messaging and non-stop digital engagement. Yet it is an essential skill for managing your own career wisely, as well as help you evolve to the leader you wish to be. Reflection is fundamentally a journey within. Like the life journey I've been describing, it starts with the process of self-assessment and the questions it raises. What choices must I make in life? What inspires me? What skills come naturally to me? What are my most serious weaknesses? Which qualities in myself am I most proud of? Which qualities trouble me or concern me? What do I hope to achieve in my career? When we are young, our lives is probably filled with activities, many of them important, others distractions. Schools, sports, family events, social gatherings, outing with friends, music and entertainment, work and travel. It's easy to fill your days and evenings with such busyness and then sink into oblivion the moment your head hits the pillow. But a life without time for reflection is a mistake. Like a frame without a picture, it leaves you vulnerable to drifting without aim, following the crowd, taking the path of least resistance, rather than charting your own purposeful course through life. So from an early age, begin to develop the habit of reflection, of taking time to turn away from the world and its many enticements, and instead journeying within yourself in search of the core meaning that defines you. Reflection is not a form of meditation. Rather, it is simply a way of making space for your mind so that better, more deeply considered decisions can emerge. One way of developing this skill is through a daily mini reflection. Put yourself on the witness stand at the end of every day for a few minutes of self-interrogation. Take account of the day that has passed and what you need to do next to give more meaning to the time ahead. If you practice this kind of mini reflection, there'll be times where you're pleasantly gratified by the thoughts and feelings that crowd your mind at day's end. Such mini reflections on the value of a single day may seem trivial at first glance, but a lifetime is made of nothing but individual days. Their cumulative value ultimately define the value of an entire life. And always remember that reflection leads to better resolution. Nine, don't rush the process of self-development. Strive to develop patience when it comes to the journey of self-discovery. Take the journey in thoughtful strides, rather than trying to make one or two giant leaps to the top. Climb the ladder consistently, step by step, without taking shortcuts. Otherwise, you may find that you vaulted to the top of the wrong ladder, rather than reaching career milestones that turn out to be unfulfilling. Seek to master the art of self-discipline. Learn how your mind works and the tricks it will play on you. And develop the willpower to do what you need to do despite those tricks. For example, if you start a daily exercise, you'll likely experiment a moment when your mind whispers to you, as we all experience that once in our lifetime, come on, you really don't want to exercise today, do you? Aren't you tired? Now, most of us today don't do work that is physically exhausting. So when our mind tells us we are tired, it is really the brain itself that it is. And it's trying to trick us to going along for the easy ride. But the body isn't. At this moment, you have a choice. You can yield to your impulse, put off exercise, and find that exercising becomes harder and harder to do. Or you can simply ignore the mind's whispering and head for the gym. If you do the latter, you'll find in 15 minutes or so on the cross trainer or wherever that you're actually not tired and that exercising is actually making you feel stronger and more energetic. The lesson, You can strengthen your willpower through exercise just like any other muscle, provided you're prepared to ignore the mind and the tricks it will play on you. If you practice the principles I've described today, and discovered, you'll come to understand the deeper meaning of the word career. It's not about merely finding a job, getting paid a lot, or having easy and pleasant work to do. It is about discovering the leader in you, finding out what your talents are, and forging a path through peaks and troughs of accomplishment that will enable you to take the fullest advantage of those talents. In this way, you will create a career that brings the greatest benefits both to you and to the world around you. And this is the most reliable source of satisfaction in life, since self-esteem is always a byproduct of personal achievement. Ultimately, we are all students of life, and we hope we never graduate.